just got on YouTube. This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review a debut project by K-Flock, a drill rapper of the early 2020s. Basically, this project is called the D.O.A tape, and it came out in the fall of 2021. So the thing about this particular stuff here is, as I start to get more of these mixtapes fleshed out, some of that particular type fares, we start to cap off folks like Ludacris, and T.I. and Rick Ross, and some of those type folks in particular. I want to start to get to some of these new era type folks within the pitch behind it as far as this fair is going to happen. This is a particularly interesting type one. Has some of definitely has reminders of Pop Smoke here as far as this pitch going to happen. Folks like folks like Pop Smoke, 5EO4, and pitches like that. Some of those type folks even taste like Bobby Shmurda within relative sense. It's just the concept that it just seems like every single time some of these drill type rappers try to pop off, it just seems like these particular drill rappers always manage to have like some sort of subdued kind of problem that just prevents that particular era of popping up full blown as far as this pitch can happen between folks like Pooh Shiesty, Pop Smoke, Bobby Shmurda, some of those type folks in particular. Just a lot of these particular drill rappers just always had some sort of snafu in terms of like the concept of it. There's probably some other ones in particular as far as this fair is going to happen. There's multitudes within those particular type pitches, but I just look within the aspect. This particular cat here is facing like a mandatory life sentence just within the pitch behind it. So I wanted to get towards some of this type of stuff. Just the concept of bringing forth some recognition towards like the concept of just realizing that there's some hit appeals here. And this is definitely a pretty trendy type project just within the pitch behind it. Definitely like the aspect of it, real blitzing type one. In terms, for the most part, when I review new era type stuff past about 2020, 2021 or so, for the most part, it's always kind of haphazard with like the appeal behind it. But this one, this is a clean sweep, full blown. I'd have to say just 10 out of 10. All 7 of the songs on here I recommend. Now there's 8 songs in this particular project. There is a deluxe edition of this called the Care Package of the D.O.A tape, and that basically had 18 songs. Not going to review that at this particular stage, but I am going to review the basic kind of mixtape EP that came out here. Now I don't know. I want to say when it says mixtape, that's relative because of the fact that Dat Piff was kind of in its floundering stages around this particular time, in like the early 2020s. So I just look within the aspect. I think it's just more of a retail mixtape within the tone behind it. So concept of it is available for purchase, but if you're going to get the purchasable D.O.A tape, you might as well just get the Care Package ones that has the 18 songs. But look within the pitch. So basically every song on here was a single damn near within the pitch behind it. I'd say the promotion behind it, there were at least 3 songs that got some certifications from the RIAA, so apparently this cat was making some good buzz back in 2021. It's been a little bit since those particular times, but I did not really catch this cat back in those particular days, as I was more focusing on folks like Cinema Bazaar and Deuce and some of those type folks, and Broken Side folks like that within some of those type pitches, as I was getting towards the concept of getting more reviews cooked up and pitches like that, some of that initial type fair. But it's just within the pitch, like this, I do appreciate this particular drill. It's just kind of the concept. I would like to see this particular subgenre get fleshed out a lot more just in the pitch of being able to do it and get some folks that could really dominate this and transform it. It just feels like every time there's a front runner for some drill type music, something happens to prevent them from getting more than one album or something like that. It's the same thing that happened with Pop Smoke and folks like that, like I was saying. But basically, this is pretty blistering. Like, this is not quite as much of a head trip compared to Pooh Shiesty, I had to say, but it is a good type concept. It definitely has more of like that sleek kind of city type sound that Pop Smoke particularly kind of had when it comes to new era drill. Not quite as looming and as like this haunting as like Pop Smoke in terms of like the vocals, but this is kind of like the concept of basically getting like a more gnarled kind of demon-esque type format as someone just in the pitch. He just feels, I feel like K-Flock just feels more creepiness compared to Pop Smoke's more kind of a gas kind of haunting, just kind of shrillness about it, but some good type aspects here to be able to get this particular type sound. So it's a good type pitch here. Now look after it. I'll go ahead and talk about the 3 songs that had the RIA certifications, but basically to sum this up, out of the 7 songs on this particular project, the only song I don't recommend in any fashion is just Being Honest Remix, which to really talk about that one, it's the same type of song as Being Honest, the original one. I'd had to say it's just kind of the concept that this has a G Herbo verse on there as far as this pitch kind of goes. It's the same type of song, so you might as well say I recommend all 8 songs, but just in the pitch, the original is fair enough. The original is good enough within those pitches, but I look after it. So, talk about Being Honest, Is You Ready, and PSA. Basically, PSA went platinum, Is You Ready went gold, and Being Honest went gold as far as this pitch kind of goes. So basically, Is You Ready and PSA are the 2 drill type songs within the pitch. So just talk about Is You Ready. This is like a ghostly and leery kind of powerhouse drill cruise out I'd had to say here within those pitches. Just like Pop Smoke I'd had to feel like, and it's like a super gnarled excite to kind of get here. So some of these type ones just really set the tone. It's just a real blistering type pace just within the aspect. There should be no reason why you shouldn't be having fun to these particular type songs, especially if you're more amongst like the substandard kind of nightlife just within the the pitches of just going forth with like the commerce of it. This just some real productive type fare, just really exhilarates and keeps you alive within that fashion. Just some real sleek type fashion within the pitch of just having like that consistent, just standard taste of demon time. Some of those type fares as far as those aspects going to happen. So it's just some great cruise around as far as this pitch going to go. A lot of this just has like the drill aspects is nailed extremely well. So it's just further type pitches. It is getting towards some of that and just having like some outs within the pitch, but it is kind of ghostly within the sense to like the tone of like some of this just kind of spectral type stuff, and then tone some excellent type fare. And then I would say, talk about the second follow-up drill single that got some certification. This is the most popular song off the album according to like the RIAA and pitches like that. This is a song that went platinum back in 2021 or pitches like that. PSA is like a pounding kind of set it off drill highlight to kind of get here. Just a good buzz maker. I would definitely feel like a revival of what Pop Smoke had planned. I would definitely feel like here. So if you really miss Pop Smoke pitches like that, this is a good sequel to that particular type of sound. Is the pitch of being able to get some of that. At least it would be a sequel if we could get more products from this particular folks. As those fairs going to happen. There's some real fast blurs going to get here within the concepts. This good taste, that particular type of aspect. This is just real blistering. Keeps the pace just real. Just real at your throat. Just within the concept. Just really having something severe within the concept of it. Just really like the tone and just getting towards this in like a real feral type sense. So these is you ready PSA are an excellent 1-2 punch as far as this fair is going to happen. Just real nice appeal. Just like that concept. But just like some gnarledness. Just there's actually a few more songs like that on here within those pitches. We'll get to some of those. But I'm going to talk about Being Honest as well because it's like a good follow-up single. This is a switch of things for us. This pitch going to happen. So it's typical kind of. It's like a throwback kind of house clean and typical Aaron's Day Shift. I'd have to say just a mid-2000s DJ drama soul. I feel like about this one. This is just kind of like some playing outs for us. This pitch going to go. Just a taste of just like just checking your phone pitches like that. Just some IG kind of downtimes for us. This pitch going to happen. Just flirt with some ballads, standard fare like that. Just taste of like kind of one that's just like the opposite of like the nightlife within the pitch. It's like the only song off this particular product that doesn't have some drill and some degree of fashion. It's kind of one where it's just like, hey, I don't have to get turned up every single day. It's a good concept. Get some laundry done, some pitches like that. The concept of just being sober for a day or two, just getting like some Taco Bell simple stuff like that, or just getting some bills paid, getting your car fixed, some of that type fare as far as those aspects going to happen just within the tone behind it. Just simple kind of typical day shift errands just within the tone. I do like the concept of it. Just basically like a 2020s version. It's good to see that the 2020s concepts of some of these albums have the 2020s shift to some of these albums have the context of like the way that things were back in 2005, 2007, some of those type pitches when you think of DJ drama mixtapes, things that 50 Cent and like things that folks like 50 Cent and Joel Santana and Lil Wayne and Jeezy, some of those type folks were doing in particular as far as those first gonna happen. So it's just a good sequel to that, and it hits pretty heavily just in those pictures, nails it pretty well. I get the feel I didn't really listen to this full band to like the Be Honest remix, but I think G Herbo probably did an excellent job with that particular song as well. So it's a good type fare for that. Just basic kind of one for typical day. And let's talk about every other song on here like that. So basically some of these type ones, like Op Spotter is like a very haunting and shrill blend of like some late 2010s trap and new era drill. I'd have to say within those concepts, just a quick pace kind of outing fun as far as this pitch is going to go. So it's just the concept. This is like the closest thing to trap, and that's kind of a good concept here to kind of get. Pop Smoke was pretty good about this as well. The fact that he was trying to set off some new trends, but was not shy about going back to slight like some ones that were kind of current within the eras that just came like a year or two before him as far as this pitch is going to happen. So this just feels like an advancement of the sound that Migos was trying to do back in 2019, 2020. Some of those type pitches, some of those type fares, Migos and Future and folks like that, more folks like Moneybagg Yo and some of those type folks, Gunna and Lil Baby, some of those type folks would do them like their more blistering type songs. I mean, it definitely has the drill aspect about it, but this is kind of a more blend of just like something that would be like a real haunting kind of night shift kind of trap song on like some IG type fare pitches like that. The song Ducati is like a gnarled drill rap head trip. I feel like about this particular one, just feeling real nice, kind of smoke a few. I'd have to say here, just enjoy like the night commute and some quick activity fun kind of get within those aspects. So this is one. This is not like a terribly smoke centric project within the pitch behind it. Most of this just more a taste like some vehicle centric, just out on the scene pitches like that, just going out and about and just enjoying the exhilaration of it. But this is a particular one where maybe you would have a little bit of smoke in your system and some good concepts getting tore up a little bit within the concept of a little bit more recreational type fare. It's a good type pitch for some of that. I definitely feel like this probably could have been a pretty psychedelic and overall tripped out type project within the pitch if it had more songs like Tacardi, but I look within the pitch, it's just an overall nice feel. So this is a good concept of what probably could happen more here. Maybe there's just some more songs like that on the Care Package edition. Some good type tone. Speed Racing is a nice one as well. It's like a snaring and a gas kind of drill. Night Shift Commerce kind of get here. Just a vanilla taste of Demon Time in like a 2020s fit as far as those aspects can happen. So it's just good type tone. This is probably one of the more basic type ones. This is one where this has some drill in here, but it's just the concept of not being as blistering within the tone behind. It's a little bit more basic, vanilla, and plainer, just with an aspect behind it. It's your simple kind of care package type one for just like it's like your basic kind of care package type one for just like a simple night kind of romp. Not something where it's going to be a 10 out of 10 night, but just within the pitch, just like something if it is just a normal type night, maybe you're just going and getting like some supplies pitches like that, getting like some groceries, something of that relative type fare where you're still getting turned up, still looking snazzy within the pitch behind it, but it's just a concept that there's really not as much feral kind of house party type crunkness or just from the fashion. It's more kind of transit type song within the pitch, but still, I mean, it's still pretty flashy, definitely pretty trendy within the aspect, but just, I mean, when the song says speed racing, it's within the concept of the same, but this is just a little bit more melded type one compared to most of the ferociousness. This is not as much ride out type music as much as it is just kind of simple stunt type music in a more basic sense. So it's good type tone, good concept for that. Then Brotherly Love is a nice one as well as like a ghostly taste of night commerce here. I'd have to say just woke up past 8 p.m. pitches like that. I'd have to say just some immediate kind of get crunk and down for some outs as far as this pitch can happen. Definite good homies music kind of get this one here. Just the concept of like, hey, let's ride, let's get crunk, let's figure out what's going to happen. Just some blistering type of feel. This goes just with some of the singles like Is You Ready and PSA, some of those type ones, and Op Spot or some of those type pitches have that same pounding, blistering typeness just from the pitch behind. It's very similar to Is You Ready, just from the pitch behind. Just what I'd say, these are some ghostly type ones that work extremely well within those aspects. It's very ghostly within those aspects. It's a good taste of like some good exhilaration as far as those aspects kind of go. So I just look within tone. It's very fun fashion just within the sense behind it. This concept of being able to get tore up just within the pitch. Not as full bound get tore up, but just within the pitch. It is knowing that the next few hours, next several, the commitment of the night that's getting ready to happen is going to be some exhilaration just in the pitch. It's definitely an excellent type of appeal. Once again, it goes with some of the singles that got certifications, pitches like that. Just blistering type speed, just the aspect of just like some good social commotion. So that's the tone behind this particular product. So 10 out of 10 here, just within the pitch behind it. Just had to say, this is like an excellent concept of what the 2020s had to offer within the pitch. If some of these snafus would stop happening as much full bound, I'd have to say it's a good concept of what could probably happen here. But the thing about drill that I'm looking towards is just the concept when some of these drill artists start getting past like their first product without some of these aspects that kind of happen between what happens with like Pop Smoke and Pooh Shiesty and Bobby Shmurda, some of those type of folks that I had to say, it's just kind of the concept as far as saying, I just question where the advancement of that sound would kind of go. Because the unfortunate thing, one of the main unfortunate things about Pop Smoke is just the fact that I really question how he would have advanced like the NY drill and the 2020s drill that he was trying to manifest within some of those type pitches. I just question what it would have sounded like by his second album and even like his debut album as he was going to work on it. Because he was going to put out a series of mixtapes he had. I think he was at least going to do a third one before he dropped his album, some pitches like that. So it's just within the tone. It is kind of like a truncated type aspect because you don't really know the advancement what would happen. Even with this particular cat here, I just particularly question as to what the particular advancement of the drills type sound would. I just particularly question what the advancement of the drill type sound would kind of be within those tones. Because the blistering type appeal definitely works, but it just makes you question as fleshing that out some of the ideas that could kind of manifest within the tone as to whether or not you would get like some smoke trip ones, you would get like some ones. I mean, this kind of makes you question how you would advance drills. The same thing that happened with mixtape drill in the DAT Pip era back in 2011, 2012, 2013, some of those type pitches. I mean, it had that particular sound, but it just kind of shied away after about 2013 or so, 2014 within the pitch, and then it just, I mean, the manifesto just advancing that was just from the pitch. Is like some artists like Waka Flocka, Gucci Mane started to move on. It was just from the pitch. I don't know, it just seems more of like fad rap within the pitch, but I like the concept of seeing what could particularly happen with it, but it's just from the tone. Some good type aspects here. I look within the pitch, definitely some blistering type of feel. It's a very fun type product, just to say that. The social aspects off the meter, just be able to say this is very blistering. It's just the concept of this really makes you want to ride out in some pitches like that, just get some things going, just from the pitch, like some blistering kind of night appeal, and it does it without the full-blown aspect of having to get tore up out of your mind every single time. It's just from the pitch. Now, obviously, if the errands that you're doing are just a little bit plainer and you really are just going to Walmart or something like that, it's just within the pitch. But I look within the tone, it does have the concept of just having that exhilaration. So it's a good type pitch to just add some spice and excitement towards the standard mundanity of things and just get things more spruced up. So it's a good type of appeal for that. But I look within the concepts of the social score, definitely gets a 10 out of 10, just saying all those particular things. Most of it's like a pretty shrouded distaste of like Friday, Thursday type nightlife within the pitch behind it, which is some excellent concepts. It's the blistering type appeal. There is one day shift type song, and being honest, just within the pitch behind it, just throwback to like DJ drama from like the mid 2000s. But apart from that, it's mostly just your weekend type snap, just a shot in the arm as far as those pitches kind of go. Just look after a real blistering type appeal. So in terms of the future, the unfortunate thing that apart from like the care package of the D.O.A tape, there's not really much else from K-Flock as far as those aspects going to happen. I'd have to say on top of that, now, apparently there's like another mixtape that he dropped called Flocka or something like that. I'm not really as full bound sure because the concept of it is Rate Your Music doesn't really have a track list for that particular product, so I'm not really sure if it full bound going to happen. This might be his debut. He might have dropped one more before this, not as full bound sure, but there's not terribly many other projects. Hopefully we can get towards some of this, and hopefully his prison sentence can be altered within the concept so he can actually continue to put out music. This is definitely a good concept. He does have some good. This is definitely some pretty fiery type products here to definitely get. So it's an excellent concept. Kind of see a lot of this here.